Welcome to the downstairs kitchen. This is me doing an edit redo opener video because the original video that I had intended to make today is not what happened. But I decided I wanted to keep some of the clip. We're going to do a little talking along the way and we're going to see what did I do wrong and did I like what happened afterward. And today I want to teach you that it's okay to fail, and sometimes failing is better than succeeding. So excited to show you what happened. Well, hello, my friends. So happy to see you today. As always, we are going to be continuing our cheese making journey. If you're interested in making cheese and it's something that you would like to learn more about, I have an entire playlist of different cheeses that I've made, and I love being able to take my fresh milk, whether it be today we're working with cow's milk or goat's milk that I myself have milked mostly by hand. Sometimes I use a machine, sometimes a hand, depending on how many are in the lineup and just kind of what I feel like that day. But sometimes there's an abundance of milk and I enjoy being creative with it and making all sorts of things. And cheese making is just so much fun. So I encourage you to check out that playlist if it's something that you have more interest in. But I want to introduce myself as Angela, the Inquisitive Farm Wife, to anyone who is new to my channel, because not everyone is interested in cheese making as much as I am. And so some of you might be new today. So I'd like to welcome you to the channel. So I am trying a new to me making cheese. It's one that I've eaten many times and I absolutely love, and that's provolone. And I have couple different books that I really love, cheese making books. I've been using my other one, and today we're going to be using the Beginner's Guide to Cheese Making for a provolone, a cow's milk provolone recipe. And I'm excited to give this a try and see if it tastes similar to the provolone that I am used to working with. Now, they say 2 gallons, which would be 4 of these jars, but I have these huge stock pots, and for me, when I go to make cheese, especially if I'm going to be pressing a cheese or anything like that, I almost always make double that. I almost always use 4 gallons of my milk, because that is kind of the max on your cultures that you can get with raw milk, because this milk is raw. It has not been pasteurized. It has just been straight coming from the animal to my house to be filtered and then placed in jars for usage. So I'm leaving this as a full fat cheese. I'm going to leave all the fat on there. Today I don't need to make butter or sour cream or any of those other delicious things. So we're going to go ahead and put all of the fat into the cheese. For anyone who doesn't know, cow's milk will separate. So this is the cream line on my jerseys that I'm milking right now. Today isn't too terribly impressive. It's just an average cream line, I'd say. But I still have mamas and calves together. So this is pretty typical. And that's another reason why I like to go ahead and leave all of the fat with it, because it's not a huge fat line. It's when it gets to be a third or a half of the jar, that's when I start pulling it to make my butter and sour cream and cream cheese and all those other delicious products. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start dumping this milk into my big, huge stainless steel stock pot. So you want to use a non-reactive pot. As you can see, I was so excited about this recipe. It was a new recipe for me to try, but a cheese that I love and I purchase all the time. I'm showing you all the ingredients and all the steps of everything that needed to be done. And everything was going along just beautifully as I anticipated it to be. I make sure to bring you along every step, showing you every little detail, sharing all my tips and all my tricks of how I like to make cheese here at home. I'm stirring the curds, I'm showing you how they are developing as time goes, and everything seems appropriate at this point. It all seems to be going along just fine, just normally, just like any other cheese. But it is now, at this point, where I realize things are not going as the way I believe they should, and this recipe is not going to be able to continue to be the provolone that we had hoped for. Grab a cutting board. Clean knife. Unwrap this. And now we should have one mass of curd. Here it is. And I'm going to flip it over and see if it'll all come out together. Oh boy. It did not. It did not come out as one big mass, unfortunately. So that means, well, that's a disappointment because it really needs to be one big mass. So something didn't go quite right. I mean, the curds were trying to knit together, but they were not quite there yet. So my gut tells me, okay, first of all, do it longer. And I need to put a little bit of pressure on there because the next step, we need to cut it as it needs to be one mass, and then we cut it, and then we'll do almost like cheddaring with it. So because that didn't happen, we're going to get a little redneckery here with it and see if we can't make this happen the way we need it to happen. Maybe a cheesecloth would be a good idea. So I'll be back with that. I just so happen to have another one of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this with hot water. I could have also put it down into that hot way, but I knew it would be a little too hot for my liking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and put it over the top of our pot. And we're going to put these curds, we're going to transfer them back in here because it's not going to work if it's not all one mass like it's supposed to. So hopefully, maybe by putting the curds in here with a little bit of weight on them, that will happen. It seems like they kind of, they're kind of stuck in this mesh, which I've not had happen before, but there's always a first for everything. And like I've always said, even if, this doesn't work and we feel like it's a fail, these cheese curds will still be used. Absolutely. I can use them in casseroles. If I stopped right now and gave up and just threw it away, it would be terrible. I almost want to say it would be a cheesemaker's sin, but it would not. But you could take these curds and just salt them and snack on them. Absolutely. You could take them and you could cook with them like you would shredded cheese. It's not a loss. So even if my idea of what could work doesn't work, it won't be a total loss. We can still use them. Now, I'm going to spread this out. And I'm going to do like I would if I was putting this in a press. And I'm going to fold this over the top. I'm going to put this plate on there. And then I want to put weight on there. So I want it to be able to go down in there quite a bit if I can. Okay, so I'm going to grab, I hope this isn't too much, but I'm grabbing 10 pounds. I was thinking around 5. But I'm going to go ahead and go with 10 pounds just because for time's sake, and I don't think it'll let it go too far. I still want to cover this. So I'm going to go ahead and cover our thing to keep it warm and see if that won't work. I'm probably going to give it at least a half an hour. Perfect chance to go out and water the garden. Okay, let's see what happened here. Here's to hoping. And like I said, if it didn't work and it's a fail, it's still cheese. So let's see what happened. Well, there's drippage. So that's a good sign. That means more whey was pushed out. Let's pull this out. Okay. Yes. This is much, much better. This is actually a mass. I'm comfortable with calling this a mass. I wish it was a little bit more, but I already did 45 minutes, so I feel like that's going to be enough. And now, we are going to cut the curd mass into 1/2 inch slices, and then we're going to stack those into the colander and drain for 2 hours. So 1/2 inch. Ooh, I don't know. It's not quite really, I don't know. We may have to call this, friends. This just may become cheese curds, and I would be okay with that. But let's see what happens here when I go to grab it. Yep, it just falls apart. It just falls apart. You know what? This is okay. I am going to take this as an opportunity to share with all of you that even me, an experienced cheesemaker, has these things happen. But am I calling it a fail? Absolutely not. I'm calling it a delicious mistake. So now I'm just going to grab a bowl. I'm going to go ahead and cut these into 1/2-inch squares just in case some of them actually did mat together, which they didn't. You know what? This is okay. I've got some goat milk that needs something done with it, and maybe I will take a lesson and make a smaller batch first, and maybe I will try the other recipe in the other book and see how it goes. But for now, I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to be okay with it, and I'm going to be happy with it. And I hope that you are too if you have a fail like this. Not a fail, a didn't work the way I wanted moment. So now what I'm going to do is basically you've got some cheese curds here. And we're going to salt these so that we can have them to snack on. So the cheese curds are a little smaller than you typically would make for snacking. It's perfectly okay. And this is going to be to taste. Now remember, cheese needs a lot of salt. And that will actually keep it fresher longer too. I'm not really going to measure. I'm going to say maybe a couple of teaspoons. I'm using the pink Himalayan sea salt, just something non-iodized. And then we're just going to get in there with our hands and we're going to mix this up. Yep. And these smaller curds like this are going to be perfect in a replacement for shredded cheese. So any recipe that I would use shredded cheese, that's what it'll be for. And it may be what I'll probably pick out a few of these bigger curds just for snacking. But for the most part, I'll probably keep it together. And now we're going to take one of these curds and we're going to give it a taste. Can you hear that? That squeak? You know, I've kind of been craving some cheese curds anyway. I bet I have a puppy that might want to eat that. Really close with the salt. Maybe a tad more. But we didn't really make what we intended to make today, but we still made cheese. So I hope that you learned something as I learned something. Together we worked through the problem. So I thought they would, but I wanted to let you know. Put them in the microwave for a little bit. And the cheese curds are melty and stringy and perfect. So this mistake is actually good because I'm out of shredded cheddar and it's one of our favorite things to shred and put on top quesadillas or whatever. So I think that this mistake is one of the best ones yet. Thanks so much for coming along with me today. As we went on this adventure, we learned some things. We're going to do some things differently. And I just want to thank you for being here with me. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, please come on in. Be part of the Farm Wife fam. I'd love to have you here. And let's start a conversation in the comments below. I want to know, what would you have done in this situation? Would you have given up? Would you have thrown this out? Would it have become animal feed? Or would you do like me and decide it's a tasty mistake that you're not so sad about? All right, guys. Bye for now. We'll see you next time right here on The Inquisitive Farm Wife.